Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinmoy's Biology channel. So today we are here with a very important part of human reproductive system, that is fertilization and implantation. So without further delay, let's get started with today's episode, and I hope you have gone through the previous episodes of spermatogenesis, oogenesis and menstrual cycle. So if you have not gone through those episodes, I'll be putting the link in the description box. Please do go through them so that this part will be easier for you to understand. So let's get started with today's episode of fertilization. So what are the learning objectives of today's episode? So today we are going to learn about what is fertilization. We will learn about the implantation process, and we will learn about the blastocyst stage and the trophoblast stage also, and we will learn in details about the formation of the zygote. So fertilization and implantation in details we are going to learn in today's episode. Okay, let's get started with today's episode. Please don't skip the lesson in between, because throughout the episode we will be learning about many important topics. So don't skip in between and stay tuned and stay updated with all the episodes which I'll be posting as per your CBSE 12th curriculum. So please do subscribe to my channel to get updated also with all the episodes of all the lessons. So let's get started. So today's topic is fertilization and implantation, right? So during copulation we know that the semen is released by the penis into the vagina. That this process is called insemination. So this we have already studied earlier in the previous episodes. So during copulation or coitus, the semen is released by the penis into the vagina. So what happens when the semen is released? Semen is containing of millions of sperms. So these motile sperms, they swim rapidly, pass through the cervix and enter into the uterus and finally reach the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. So if you remember, while I taught you ovary and all, so the ampullary region of the fallopian tube is reached by this motile sperms, okay, and the ovum, by that time the ovum has also been transported to the ampullary region. So ovum released by the ovary is also transported to the ampullary region where the fertilization is going to take place. So if both the sperm and the ovum are there in that ampullary region, then only fertilization will take place, and fertilization can only occur if ovum and sperms are transported simultaneously to the ampullary region, and this is the reason why not all copulations lead to fertilization and pregnancy. So every time during copulation, when the semen is released in the penis by the penis into the vagina, all the sperms every time will not be getting fertilized, and the fertilization will not happen every time, because during that time the ovum should also be in the ampullary region. So if they are not simultaneously in the same region, the ovum and the sperms should be at one time in the ampullary region, then only fertilization will happen and it will lead to pregnancy. So what is fertilization? The process of fusion of the sperm with the ovum is called fertilization. So this is the definition of fertilization. Okay, so during fertilization, what is happening? You can see the ovum here. You can see many sperms are coming and they are coming near the ovum. So the sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida layer of the ovum. So this is the zona pellucida layer of the ovum and includes the changes in the membrane that blocks the entry of additional sperm. So we know that the tip of the sperm, if you remember when I taught you, the tip of the sperm, the acrosome tip is producing certain enzymes which will be in turn, which will help in, we can say that which will help in the reaction with the zona pellucida, and then it will help the sperm to penetrate inside the ovum to help in the process of fertilization. Okay, so the acrosome tip of the sperm, which is containing several enzymes which reacts with the zona pellucida, which helps in turn the sperms to penetrate in the ovum. So this is the process which is happening. Okay, so and induces the changes in the membrane and block the entry of the additional sperm. So when one sperm has already entered, it will stop the entry of the other sperms as well. So thus it ensures that only one sperm can fertilize the ovum. So it should not be more than one sperm, right? So it should be one sperm which is fertilizing the ovum. The secretions of the acrosome help the sperm to enter the cytoplasm of the ovum through the zona pellucida and the plasma membrane. Okay, so this is what is happening here. Now this induces the completion of meiotic division of the secondary oocyte. So once the now we know that at the time of birth primary oocyte was formed. Till puberty it was in a rested stage, and then after puberty, when the first menstruation happened, secondary oocyte was formed. Now the completion of the secondary oocyte has taken place, and the second meiotic division is with unequal results in the formation of a second polar body has resulted, and a haploid ovum or oocyte has been formed here. So it is a completion of the second meiotic division, and a second polar body is formed with a haploid ovum or a oocyte. Okay, so this is what is happening after this fertilization has happened. So second polar body is there, and a haploid ovum or oocyte that is being formed. Okay, soon the haploid nucleus of the sperm and that of the ovum, they fuse together to form a diploid zygote. So zygote will be diploid, that is zygote is 2n. Okay, so zygote is 2n and it is diploid. Okay, so how many chromosomes will be there in a zygote? So it is 2n and diploid number, so it is having diploid number of chromosomes. Okay. So how many chromosomes will be there in a zygote? So there will be 46 chromosomes in a zygote. Okay. So one has to remember that the sex of the baby has been decided at this stage itself. So once the zygote is formed, at this stage only the sex of the baby is determined. So let us see how it is determined. So as you know, the chromosome pattern in human female is XX and that of the male is XY. Therefore, all the haploid gametes, that is ova, produced by the female have a sex hormone, whereas X, and the male gametes, that is sperms, have another sex hormone that could either be X or be Y. So as the female is having XX and the male is having XY, so either of the chromosomes, if it is being taken as a sex hormone, it will be X, but in a male person, that will be either X or Y. Okay, so 50% of the sperms carry X chromosome, while the other 50% they carry the Y chromosome. So after fusion of male and female gametes, the zygote would carry either XX or XY, depending on whether the sperm carrying X or Y fertilize the ovum. Is it clear to all of you? So the sperm which is fertilizing the ovum, either it is carrying the X chromosome or it is carrying the Y chromosome. There are 50% chance to carry X and 50% chance to carry Y. So on that only it will depend that the zygote will be XX or XY. So we can say that the zygote carrying XX would develop into a female, and the XY would develop into a male baby. And this chromosomal patterns we will be studying in chapter 5. This is chapter 2, right? So in details we will be studying in chapter 5. So that is why scientifically it is correct to say that the sex of the body is determined by the father and not by the mother. Okay, so this is how the XX and the XY chromosomes are coming in the baby. So whether the child is male or female, it is determined by the father itself and not the mother. Okay, so this is what you will be studying in details in chapter 5, in the chapter where we will be studying about chromosomal patterns. Okay. Now, the mitotic division starts as a zygote moves to the isthmus of the oviduct and is called cleavage. So, what is it called? As it is starting to move through the isthmus of the oviduct, it is called cleavage, and towards the uterus. Okay, it is moving from the after the sperm. You can see this diagram. This is the ovum. This is after the sperms are being fertilizing. So this is C stage. This one is formed. Now as they are moving towards the uterus, that cleavage is formed, and it forms 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cells called the blastomeres. So daughter cells are by mitotic division, they are being divided like this. See, 2, 4, 8, 16, like this they are being divided, and the embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres is called a morula. So 8 to 16 blastomeres, it is called a morula, and then this is morula, and the morula continues to divide and transforms into a blastocyst. So it is continuing to divide and it is forming a blastocyst. Okay, is it clear? So where is this blastocyst? This blastocyst is gradually coming here and getting implanted. So blastocyst implantation is done here. So this is being implanted here in the wall of the uterus. Okay. Now, as it moves further into the uterus, the blastomeres in the blastocyst are arranged into an outer layer called the trophoblast, and an inner group of cells attached to the trophoblast are called the inner cell mass. So, they are arranged as outer layer. Outer layer is called the trophoblast, and they are arranged in a inner cell mass that is attached to the trophoblast is called the inner cell mass. So this outer cell mass is called the trophoblast, and this cell mass which is attaching to the trophoblast is called the inner cell mass. So is it clear to all of you? So this is what is happening during this process of after fertilization to implantation, right? Now what is happening? We have told that the outer mass is forming the trophoblast, and there is an inner mass, cell mass. So the trophoblast layer then gets attached to the endometrium, and the inner mass gets differentiated as an embryo. So this is what is happening. You can see here. So this outer mass we are calling that this mass is the trophoblast cells, and the inner mass is another is formed, which both of them are getting implanted in the uterus. So what is happening to the inner mass? The inner mass gets differentiated as an embryo. So after attachment, the uterine cells divide rapidly and they cover the blastocyst. Okay. So as a result, the blastocyst become embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. Okay, so blastocyst is getting embedded in the endometrium of the uterus, and this process is called implantation, and this leads to pregnancy. So after fertilization, after zygote formation, after this blastocyst, after all the stages, this blastocyst gets implanted or embedded in the endometrium of the uterus, and that one is called the implantation. So today we have learnt about the process of fertilization and implantation. Okay. So in the next video, we will be studying about pregnancy and the embryonic development, how it is happening after it is getting implanted, how the pregnancy in this pregnancy, how the placenta is formed, what is chorionic villi and all. So we are going to discuss that in the next video. So till then, you need to subscribe to my channel so that you can get more and more updates whenever I'm posting my lessons as per your CBSE curriculum. So stay tuned, stay updated with all the videos which I'm posting, and please go through the lessons of 12th CBSE which I'm already posted and which I'll be posting. So for that, you need to remain subscribed to my channel for getting the updates. So as of now, I have completed today's episode of fertilization and implantation, and please don't skip the video in between and go through it full. Thank you.